My dad left his fortune to his biological children. My golden child brother didn't know he was the affair baby. I was sitting in my father's lawyer's office watching my brother Kyle smirk at me from across the mahogany table when the attorney opened the will and said, "To my son Kyle, I need you to know that I've always known about your mother's affair." Kyle's smirk died instantly, his face went white as paper, and my mother let out a sound like a wounded animal before the lawyer even got to the part about the DNA test that would destroy everything my brother thought he knew about himself. That was 10 minutes ago. Now Kyle is screaming, my mother is sobbing, and I'm sitting here trying to process the fact that my father, the man who barely acknowledged my existence for 30 years, just made me the sole heir to his $14 million estate because of a secret he'd been keeping since before I was born. But let me back up, because this story doesn't start in a lawyer's office. It starts with a funeral, a golden child, and a black sheep who everyone assumed would get nothing. My father, Richard Donovan, died last Tuesday at 73. Heart attack. Quick and clean, which is more mercy than he showed most people in his life. He was a real estate developer, self-made millionaire, the kind of man who valued success above everything else, including his kids. I'm Jake, 32, the family disappointment. I'm a high school art teacher making $45,000 a year. I have tattoos. I rent an apartment. I didn't go to business school like my father wanted. I'm everything Richard Donovan considered a failure. Kyle is 35, MBA from Wharton, VP at dad's company, drives a BMW, married to a woman who looks like she walked out of a country club catalog. He's been groomed since birth to take over the empire. The golden child, the favorite, the son who did everything right. The funeral was exactly what you'd expect. Expensive, tasteful, full of people in designer suits talking about what a visionary Richard was. Kyle gave the eulogy, talking about dad's legacy, his brilliance, his dedication to family. I sat in the back row and said nothing. At the reception, Kyle pulled me aside. He was wearing a suit that probably cost more than my monthly rent, and he had this look on his face, pity mixed with superiority. "Jake, I know things have been tough between you and Dad," he said, putting a hand on my shoulder. "But I want you to know, when the will gets sorted out, I'll make sure you're taken care of. Maybe set you up with a trust fund or something. Nothing crazy, but enough so you don't have to worry." The condescension dripped off every word. Like I was some charity case he was generously deciding to help. "That's real thoughtful of you, Kyle," I said flatly. "I mean it." He squeezed my shoulder. "We're brothers. Dad might not have left you much, or anything, honestly, but I'm not going to let you struggle. I'll give you, I don't know, maybe 50,000. That should help, right? 50,000. Out of an estate worth at least 14 million. And he said it like he was being generous. "Sure, Kyle," I said. "Thanks." He smiled, satisfied that he'd done his brotherly duty, and walked away to talk to some executive from the company. I watched him go, watched him shake hands and accept condolences with that easy confidence that came from never doubting his place in the world. I'd spent my whole life being compared to Kyle, coming up short, not ambitious enough, not driven enough, not enough like Dad. My mother, Victoria, had made it clear from the time I was a kid that Kyle was special and I was, well, I was the accident that came along 3 years later and never quite measured up. But the paternity revelation was just the beginning. Wait until you hear what my father had planned for both of us. Click here to watch full video.